Jai Jai Sri Gandhari Giridhari Jitani Sarva Vinasha Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagwan ki Bhakta Shiromani Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Gaur Premanandi.
Your audio was not audible and clear.
Yes, Prabhu?
Your audio was not audible, Prabhu.
It was completely not audible?
It was not completely audible.
Now?
Now it is fine, Prabhu.
True, when you were doing Kirtana, right? So your voice was there, but when Mataji was repeating, it was not audible. And again, when you were saying, it was audible, that kind of.
Actually, she is sitting very far.
Okay.
Okay, from tomorrow I'll
Okay.
have to sit near.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna to all. Welcome to the session once again. Today we'll learn and understand more about chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized. This is very important chapter. This is kind of summary of Bhagavad-Gita. Here Krishna answers Arjuna about his doubts and all. Like Arjuna surrenders to Krishna and asks for direction on what is right for him to do. And we'll learn more about Atma, all of this. So it's very important, and please be away from any distraction for the next 1 hour or so. And do not put any chat messages during the session. Hold on to your questions till the end. Switch on your videos so that you get more focus. Yeah. So Hare Krishna Prabhu, you can start.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna to all. Once again, welcome to all. And I thank each and everyone for participating in this session. Actually, Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit etadisiddhaye. Only few pick up this path to make their life perfect. Not everyone. You can see this even in the group. There's so many. There are more than 500 members, but how many are attending? Not the, do you think that they're not interested? They are interested. They join even after the sessions. Many have joined, but they are not able to win the sleep or their lethargy or the laziness. They are not able to win that because the ignorance as a tamoguna is controlling them. They wanted to do something, but they are not able to do. Only few who are blessed, only who are fortunate can attend this. And after receiving this, and if you don't implement in our life, we'll be the most unfortunate souls. So should be very humble, receive it from the Lord and try to implement in our life. It's very, what I can say, golden words, not golden words. We cannot, the spiritual words, never you can compare to any material things, such as a transcendental thing, which changes our life. Okay, now let us start. And we all know how to start by humble praise. So let us chant Mangalacharan. Hold your hands, you can chant along with me, then we'll go through this. Okay. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Ishtapadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swamin Niti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitakrapavadaya Nagaurakatadhamadaya Nagragravataya Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandam Madhavam Chaitanya Vishwa. So before starting, let us offer obeisances and thanks to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder and Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So before starting the second chapter, let us see what we discussed yesterday, the first chapter, under the acronym doubt. So here we saw Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana's mindset, the inner fear, the doubt, and the partiality that Dhritarashtra is showing, and the diplomacy and the inner fear with Duryodhana. And the omniscious results, where the victories before the battle started, the victory has been shown to Pandavas. Almost that everyone know that Pandavas are going to win because Krishna was in their side. Then ultimately now, to start this Bhagavad-Gita or to give this knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna is making Arjuna in such a position to ask these questions. Now he becomes uncertainty, shows his uncertainty, and he becomes bewildered because the quality of Swajanam. When we become selfish, when we become this is mine and this thing, mine, what happens? We may not be able to take the decisions. And the fear along with mine, along with it is me and mine, the fear, anxiety, and disappointment, it is the qualities. So it will be along with that. So then we may not be able to take the decisions. You can see Arjuna is such a powerful person. The turning point, what will happen, he was not even able to hold his Gandhi. And he starts giving the reasoning. And we saw that these are all genuine reasons. He says compassion. Definitely a person should be compassionate. And how could he kill his spiritual master and great friends? So definitely no. Then loss of enjoyment after killing them, what is there? Definitely it's a right question which is asking. Then fear of sinful reaction. Definitely when we kill someone, we get sinful reactions. So he has to go to the hell and suffer for it. And what happens? Killing everyone, all the men, is a destruction in family tradition. So all the women will be corrupted. So he's taking in a bigger view also, even the kingdom also, even the whole country, what happens? So there is no Dharma, everyone becomes a Dharmic. So nowhere we can see any good in this Bible. Absolutely right. But now, after hearing the second chapter, Krishna answers all this. Then we see, yes, what Krishna is saying, right? So this is the difference between the material life and the spiritual life. Till now, what we were, you are all thinking, or even including me, what we were all thinking that this is right. This is how I have to live. Once Bhagavad-Gita enters our life, we'll understand what is the purpose of life. Then we'll start our real life. Actually, our life starts only after taking the message of. There's so many ignorant in this world, but unaware of it. Okay, so let us go further. And today's chapter, it has been divided into 4. That is, how do we manage stressful situations? And who am I? 2 types of duties and permanent happiness. See, and there is a method and there's a process how to take this knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita. Is everyone's stressful condition is being solved by this Bhagavad-Gita message? Definitely. But there's a process how to take this. It is not by contaminated mind or intelligence. Just an example I'll give you. For example, think that your hand is with some grease or oily hand. Whatever you touch with your hand, everything becomes oily, contaminated, isn't it? The same way, if we have this material knowledge, being puffed up that I'm such and such, I'm a great personality, I'm a manager in this company, or I have studied so much, I'm a scholarly person, whatever the material qualities. Based on that, if you're trying to understand Bhagavad-Gita, definitely we may not be able to understand Krishna or the Krishna's message. A simple story I'll say to understand. Once in a musical school, they were taking the admission. So all the students were standing in a queue, everyone were approaching the master. And master was asking many questions. In that, one question was, are you having any previous knowledge on this music? Many were saying, no, I don't have any knowledge on this. I'm zero in this. Oh, is it? Then fine. So it is 2,000 rupees monthly fee for you. Okay, he was fixing that fees to everyone and coming. And one person who was standing behind, he was thinking, I have learned something in this music. I have learned this swaras. Sari, Gama, Pada, Nisa, Sani, Tapa, Magari, Sa. Like this, something I have learned. So what happens? If I go and say then, my fees will become 1,000 because already I have learned something. So the master will charge me less. So when his turn came, he went near the master, said, yes, master, I learned something. I know this swaras. I know this something. Oh, is it? Great. Very good. Then what did the master do? He made his fees 4,000 per month. He was surprised. The boy was surprised and astonished. Master, what is this? Those who are before me, they don't know anything and you're charging them 2,000 per month. And I know something about this music and everything and you're charging me 4. Why is this? And the master said, first, my duty is to remove all the contaminations which are developed in you. Then clear it. Then I have to give this knowledge. So 4,000. Understood? So what is the contamination there? That he has learned that swaras? No. One contamination is that I am better than who are all there because they don't know anything, but I have this knowledge of swaras. I am more than them. There is an egoistic matterness. I am puffed up that I have this. Then never ever you can take this Bhagavad-Gita. So the spiritual master's first duty is to, even in second chapter, you can see when Arjuna surrenders to him, first Krishna says, Ashochan anvashochastam prajnavadam sabhashase gatasu nagatasam shnanu shochanti pandita. You are a great fool but you think that you are a pandita? Asking this kind of questions to me, then he gives the real knowledge to him. In that way, we are all materially very puffed up. I am great. I know that. I know this. Many, I hope, who have joined this session, they not to transform yourself. Many have joined to check what is it. In what is there in the Bhagavad-Gita, let me see. Because I am great. I want to see what is happening here. But nobody is having a mood to transform. That the basic thing is that is. So you should be in humble mode. There's something superior, which is transcendental, divine is going to come in my life. Please accept it. A humble way. Don't open your doors of in your heart. Let Krishna's message enter. This is how a real situation comes. That is the blissful thing. We'll be out of all the stressful conditions, whatever the problems we have in your life. Okay. So today's acronym is Gita. Guru, identity, true Dharma, and Anand. Here you can see, yesterday also we discussed this. When we are in this situation, the very first thing Arjuna did is surrender to Krishna. So are we also surrendering to a spiritual master? Without surrendering to a spiritual master, we may not be able to overcome our challenges in this material. And see here Arjuna is saying, Arpanya dosho pahatasvabhava prichami tuam dharma sammuda chetaha yet shreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tuam prapannam. Karpanya dosho pahatasvabhava. This material problem. See, now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of my silly weakness. Because of this, now I'm not able to take any decisions because all the relatives are standing in front of me. I'm not able to take any decisions. I'm confused state. I hope our everyday, day-to-day life is in a confused state. We don't know what to do and what not to do. This is everyone's situation. Correct? The same situation as Arjuna. I'm in a confused state. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me what, for certain, what is best for me. See, Bhagavad-Gita is something, you just think it's a key bunch of hundreds of millions of key bunches. My heart is a lock, or my life is a lock. There's only one particular key which can open my problems or my life's lock. And who can recognize that key? It is the spiritual master. Not that you read all Bhagavad-Gita and try with all the millions of keys to open our problems, the lock of our life. No, you cannot solve it. So we have to surrender to a spiritual master. That is what Arjuna is doing. This is the authorized process, authentic process. This is how it happens. Clear? Now, I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Completely I surrender to you. Please instruct to me. And the last line is the most important. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. It's more superior than sharanam. Sharanam is completely surrendering, but prapannam, we don't have equivalent wording in English. So Sanskrit is highly superior. No comparable to the Sanskrit words. Prapannam, Sharanam and Prapannam, what is the difference between it? So through an example, I can explain to you. It is something like a kitten and a monkey's small baby or child. See, monkey, what it does, always it tries tightly, it will be holding its mother whenever it's climbing the trees or jumping the branches. Why? Somewhere it might fall down. That means, yes, it is completely surrendered to its mother. But kittens is prapannam. It is least even bothered to take hold of its mother also, catch hold of its mother. It is mother who takes the child from the kittens from this one place to the other place. The Prapanam is completely surrendered to Krishna. Krishna, nothing I'm going to do now, not taking any decisions, anything is going to happen. Only thing I'll follow your instructions. That is what in the ending says. Vachanam karishyetava. And Krishna is saying, Krishna has given the independence. He's saying, no, I don't take up anyone independence. I've given all the knowledge to you. Arjuna, it's your turn to take the decision. Then Arjuna says, no, my dear. Vachanam karishyetava, whatever you say, that is the role to me, I'll take up. So that should be our condition in the end. Whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, I'll take up to my life. Okay, now you can see keys to surrender. Can everyone surrender to them? Yes, you need some basic qualities. Not everyone surrenders. The basic, the very first thing is eager to learn. Whoever has joined here, they need something to learn. They have joined. Others are still sleeping, I think. Because that is what happens in our life. The laziness or the lethargic is just controlling us. The ignorance or the tamoguna is controlling us. We cannot, that is the challenge of our life. We think, oh, many other challenges. The basic thing we are not able to win ourselves. Eager to learn, the most important. Only those people come forward. And now we're all here, no? They are materially very eager to learn. I want to learn that. I want to learn this. Somewhere I have to progress my life. Just a small turn from the material, make it spiritual. That's it. You are just progressing towards the right path, the liberation path towards Krishna. A simple story, I'll say. I hope you all know Bilva Mangal Thakur. Great, great devotee of the Lord. But before that, what he was an ordinary person like we all. And he was attached to a prostitute, Chintamani, her name. He was very much attached to her. And once what happened, his father, at the death of his father, even the last rites, he was not ready to do that because he was very eager to go and meet Chintamani. In the end, just the deathbed, all the wood and everything is arranged. He just kept the fire to that and he asked the Purohits, you carry on after that. You take care of everything. I want to go and see Chintamani. He just, left the place and he went to see her. And that day there was a heavy rain. And even the river was flooding actually. Actually, to see her, he has to cross the river. So he started swimming because there was no boatman or no one. He started swimming. And one time it came where he is supposed to sink in the river. Then he caught hold of some log. He just tried to pass the river. And finally he saw it was not an wooden log. It was a dead body. He caught hold of it and then he just traveled. Then he went and saw the Chintamani's house. It's been locked because it is very late. It's locked. So there was a huge compound. So he tried to climb that. He was not able to climb. Then he saw a rope, caught hold of the rope and he started climbing. And finally he saw that was not a rope. That's actually a snake. Caught hold of a snake and he started jumping the compound. He met Chintamani then. He started to say his courageous things, what all he has done. See, this is how I have come to meet you. So then she said, Chintamani is the first guru below Mangal. He says, what kind of a fool are you? I'm a prostitute selling my body. To see me, you have taken so much of endeavor. Even a little bit of endeavor, if you are taken to achieve Lord Krishna, you might have been liberated. This sentences, this message just pricked his heart. At once he realized, yes, I'm wasting my life. That's what I said to you all. We are all very much progressive to the material thing. Just a turn to spiritual changes up. And finally, he left her. He left the whole world. He started going towards Vrindavan. Then he became a great devotee of Supreme Lord Krishna. And there's another story also. He just pricked his eyes. On the way, what happened? He was attached to another girl. He asked for water and seeing her beauty, he was attracted to her. And finally, when he was just going behind her, even her husband, seeing this person, where is some great person, he said, story goes very big. I want to cut short, but I'm not able to do that. So he was going behind her and she entered a hut and he was also following her. Then her husband stopped him. Where are you? He said, this lady is very beautiful. I want to have association with her. But by the time he was transformed, you can see the glow in his face. Then this person went inside. He requested his wife, some Mahatma has come, but somewhere is attached to you. So you just give an opportunity to it. So those days, wives were in such an exhausted position. Whatever husband says, that was the final for them. She accepted it. Then the husband, he comes out and he says to Bilvamangal Thakur that, yes, she's my wife. So somehow or the other, I have convinced her, you can go and take the association of her. Such a great husband. Then he understood, he came to his reality. He went inside. He just stood in his knees. By folding his hands, he said, sorry, my dear mother. Even I am seeing you in a lusty vision. I have given up everything. I want to take up the shelter of Lord Krishna's lotus feet. But still, my lusty desires and my lusty sight is seeing you as an enjoyable product to me. Sorry. Please, can you spare a pin which you put your hairs, the U pin you call. So she gives that. Taking the pin, he just pricks his two eyes. He becomes a blind. Till then, I have this lusty eyes. I may not be able to progress in life. And from there, he goes to Vrindavan. Actually, it is said it is Krishna who helped him going to Vrindavan. It was Krishna who was serving him. And he has written one book, Krishna Karnamrita. It is said it is written by Krishna himself. See, we cannot progress in our life, but the decisions that we take, yes, I want to achieve in my life. Somewhere or other, I have to achieve lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna will help us. He will take us back to his. Only thing, the decision that we take, eager to learn. Okay. Then the humble and acknowledging weaknesses. Very important. It should be very humble and acknowledge what is our weakness. Accepting a bona fide teacher to guide through the challenges. Without spiritual master, no. And it is a bona fide teacher. The fourth chapter I explained who is bona fide, who is an ordinary teacher, and who is real guru, and who is bogus guru, everything. Okay. Now let us go to the next. Life lessons. It takes a lot of courage and humility to accept failure and one's own weaknesses. Definitely we need very, very much of courage. One thing we know, we are not so courage to show our real life or real face also. Yesterday also I was saying about this. Without makeup, we cannot go up. We don't have so much of courage to show the reality. And even forget about our face or anything. If we are not able to show our life, we take so much of loans, so take so much of commitments to show to the world that I'm a rich person. I'm not, I'm just showing what I'm not. That is our main duty nowadays. We should be very, especially with the spiritual master, should be courageous to say, this is my life, my dear spiritual master. Please instruct me accordingly. Let me progress. And here one story comes about a Lala, a great devotee of the Lord, who even he goes to Vrindavan. So he was a very rich person who was doing this business of lending loans, collecting interest in this way. Very rich person. He was going in a Pallaki palanquin. It was taken by 4 members. He was just going. One lady who was washing clothes, she said to her father, Kalati thora hai, basna ko jalana hai. A simple word that it is getting late. I should burn. You should burn this, some product which it comes from the plant, so that the dirt of the cloth can be removed. This thing. But it gives another meaning also this. Kalati thora hai. Time is going. It's becoming late. When are you going to burn your ego? When you're going to burn this. This is other meaning. This person hearing this Lala, I understood in another way. Yes, I'm already getting 50 plus now. When should I take up Krishna consciousness? When should I take spirituality? At the moment he took the decision, yes, stop the palanquin. He just removed all his rings and chain or whatever it is. He said that you all this to my son, elder son, let him take care of, from today, let him take care of all the business and everything. At once he left everything, he went to Vrindavan, took the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. He was serving him under it. And he was seeing that one thing, after many months, years, spiritual master was initiating all the newcomers, but not Lala. What do we think then? If this happens in our life, the spiritual master is not the right person. He's showing partiality. He is initiating others, but he's not initiating me. There's something wrong in the spiritual master. Accepting failures, accepting our own defects, weaknesses is more important. He thinks in that way. Lala thinks there's something fault in me. That's why my spiritual master is not initiating me. Then he realizes that actually serves his spiritual master by going and begging. But he was not going to one house, was his enemy or a rival person in the business. He was not going to his house. He thought, this is the only mistake I'm committing, I think. The next morning, the very first house, he goes to that person for begging. Seeing him, even the servants of that house, they ran inside to say this master, my dear master, Lala has come in front of our house and he's begging. Because he was such a great rich person. Then even that master, the house owner, he just ran outside to receive Lala. My dear Lala, you are just, what I can say, developed your consciousness to superior, becoming a spiritual person. Please enter my house. My house becomes auspicious. Whatever I have, it is at your feet. You can take. He says, no, I'm a beggar. Just serving my spiritual master. Something can you provide? You can use some rice or something collected from him. He went to the spiritual master. And that day, they were already arranged all the Agni Kund, everything, sacrifice everything to initiate Lala. He says, Lala, now you have qualified to be initiated. Please come. Then the spiritual master initiates him. In this way, always anything wrong is happening, it's my fault. But what do? We start finding faults in others. Blame game we play. Blaming others. Something wrong happens, anything, even while cooking, anything happens, 2 people are cooking, you think, 2 women are cooking, anything because of her only. She did not put water or she did not put salt, something. We start blaming. Even in our business, even our working this thing also. Anything happens wrong, it is because of that person, because of this person. Anything happens good, yes, it is my pride. Because of me, everything happened. Actually, this is material which binds us. Spiritual liberates us from binding this. Okay, then, but unless we accept it, we cannot succeed in life. Without accepting our own weaknesses, we may not be able to succeed. And success has many fathers, but failure isn't. When we definitely have success in our life, there's many helping hands. Even the Supreme Lord comes to help us. But being very egoistic, failing in our life is an orphan. Nobody is there to take care of us. But just for that, we are taking a wrong decisions going towards the material things so that I have to progress. But this all is happening because of our ignorance. Okay. Life lesson 2. To be progressive in life, it is essential to cultivate humility because it protects us from being falsely proud of our accomplishments and strength, which otherwise can prove futile in another situation or environment. Sometimes showing off, this is what happens in our life. We are always fearsome. A simple thing I'll say, what is my real face? I don't show to everyone. I'll show just makeup face. Then if somebody is tapping the door, you are not ready to open the door. Because so many days you have shown something, you are not. And now if you open the door, some reality, for example, a hair dye, you think, your gray hair every day, you just hair dye or show something different which are not. And somebody is immediately coming to see you. You cannot maintain that for your whole life. This is what it happens. The reality is not able to show. Every time you cannot be number one. Every time you cannot show what you are not. So the reality life makes us very simple. It makes us happy, blissful. Yep. Then you can go to the next topic. Who am I? Our position. What is our position? Who am I? I hope Indians don't have any problems in this. It's only in the Western countries we have to have an elaborate explanation of this. Being Indians, we are naturally, even an illiterate person knows that I am a soul. I am Atma. Everyone knows that. But yes, being ignorant of this spiritual message, sometimes we get in a confusion state. Actually, we are soul, the spirit soul. Mamaivamshi jivaloki jivabhuta sanatana. But what happens? Misplaced, mistaken identity. Sometimes we identify ourselves as this body. That is the real source of our struggle. Painful condition, sorrowful life because of our identity. Identifying myself in a wrong way that I am this body. Always trying to satisfy the senses of this body. Always trying to be happy through this body. Actually, happiness comes from the Supreme Lord. Happiness is within, not outside. Just a small story, I'll say this to understand. In two things can understand in the story. That is, one is that I am a spirit soul, and other thing, the real association of a devotee, how it benefits us. So in Puranas, there's a story where once Narada Muni goes to the Supreme Lord, he says, my dear Lord, what is the benefits of Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha? Lavamatra is when this second, 1 second has been divided into 11, then it becomes Lava. That is Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, having association of a pure devotee for Lavamatra. What is the benefit? Then the Lord says, see, on the tree there is a worm. Just go and ask that worm, it will answer you. Oh, is it? Okay, my dear Lord. He goes to the tree, near the tree. He was about to ask the worm, what is the benefit of Lavamatra Sadhu Sangam? Before he completes its verse, a bird comes and catch holds of the worm and it just swallows him. Then the Narada Muni comes in and he says, this is what happened. Then he says, the Lord says, okay, see there. One cow is giving birth to a calf. You go and ask that calf will answer you. Okay. He was thinking that Lord should answer, but Lord is sending here and there. Okay. He'll go there. He goes and asks the calf, what is the benefit of Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha? Before his end of his words, actually, still the cow is giving birth to the calf. It is coming from the womb of the mother. It just fell down on the earth. Standing cow is giving the birth to this calf. It fell down on the earth with this head broke and even the calf died. This Narada Muni is surprised now. He goes back to the Lord. My dear Lord, this is what happened. Oh, is it? Okay, now you see there in a kingdom, a big, great king. After many, many years, he has given birth to a boy child. Go and ask that child. He will answer you. Now Narada Muni is scared. See, the worm he asked, it died. He asked for the calf, even that passed away. Now, if you go and ask the king's son what happens, if anything happens, what will the king do to him? So in that scary way, he's going to the child, just born child. He goes near the child and he asks, what's the benefits of Matra Sadhu Sangha? Then the child starts speaking. My dear master, you are the most greatest sadhu of all sadhus. Your association, pure devotees association, I was in the Om's body. Just by your association, I completed that life and took the most auspicious birth in the animals, that is a cow. I was taking the birth. Before my birth, you gave your association. I just completed that life. Now I have taken a birth of this human body. That you are son of a great king, a devotee. Now I have all my opportunities to liberate from this material world just by the association of your great sadhu. This is the benefits by association of pure devotees. So one more thing, the same spirit soul was the Om, was this calf. Now he has taken the birth of king's son. Okay, you can see two things in this story. Okay, now let us go to the... And actually Bhagavad-Gita, the foundation of Bhagavad-Gita is this Atma Jnana. Without taking this Atma Jnana, never ever you can be able to understand this Bhagavad-Gita, and it is of no use. Just this, it never applies to our body. Once you come to the platform of Atma Jnana, that I am the spirit soul, then definitely this body becomes our instrument. It becomes a vehicle where through this vehicle, we can go to the Vaikuntha, we can go to the spiritual world. This body helps us to go to the spiritual world. But if you are in bodily platform, it degrades us, because when we are trying to satisfy the body, we get binded in this material world. Day by day, we get degraded. But once you understand that I am the spirit soul and my mind purpose is to satisfy the Lord, Jivera Swarupuhai Krishnera Nityadas, this is how my duties are there. This is how I have to do. What happens? You start progressing in your life. The same body which was binding you now is making you to liberate from this material world. Then all the instructions of Bhagavad-Gita applies to us. So here Krishna is saying, Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na muhyate. Says, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. You can see this picture? A person is holding the photos from the childhood to youth to another old, then now he has become old person. It's the same person. Actually, we think that this is the growth. No. We are not growing. The child is not growing. Actually, is changing the bodies. Even scientifically, 7 years. All the living cells is being changed in 7 years. Completely it gets changed. It's not the growth, it is changing. But a person who is a dhira, a sober person, who is having this knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita, is not bewildered when he gives up this body. He understands that this soul is passing from one body to another body. From the birth, it started to pass from many bodies. And now, when this whole body is completely deteriorated, it's of no use to fulfill the desires of the soul. It takes a new body. That is called as death. A person knows this knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita, is not bewildered. He is a dhira. That is what Krishna is saying in this verse. So he gives some more than 10 to 12 verses, something. He gives the knowledge of this Atma Jnana and the qualities of Atma, the spirit soul. You can see here the very basic thing, composition of myself. That is, we are with two bodies. That is, one is gross body and the subtle body. And this gross body contains made up of 5 material elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Panchabhutas, we say. Separated and destroyed at death. At the time of death, we give up this gross body. And what is subtle body? Subtle body is mind, intelligence, and false ego. This is separated at the time of liberation. Till then, if how many ever the bodies you take, all the subtle body that is what has been the quality of mind. Whatever the desires we have, it stores. The subtle body stores all our desires in this life and millions of previous life. Everything is being stored. As in a phone, you have a chip. When you change the phone, just keep the chip to the other, transform it. What happens? Whatever the movies, whatever the videos, whatever the songs you are hearing, the same thing you can hear and see in the other phone also, correct? The same way, whatever the desires we have in our previous life is being carried forward to our next body also through this subtle body. Clear? And who am I? I am a spirit soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And my quality is Satchit Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge and blissful. And this is the quality of the Supreme Lord also. He is also Satchidananda. I am also Satchidananda because I am part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. But because of ignorance, because of lack of knowledge, because of contaminated knowledge, I think that I am this body, wanted to be satisfied through this body. That's why I start getting binded in this material world. Actually, our real this thing is to be happy. So we are searching for the happiness. Many are searching in many things. Many think that if I purchase a new vehicle, I'll be happy. New car gives me happiness, or a bigger house gives me happiness, or a better wife gives me happiness, or a good children gives me happiness. No, this is all material. Never it can satisfy us. But when we start serving the Supreme Lord, that is the eternal happiness, blissful condition. That is the real, what I can say, Swarupa of a Jiva. Swarupa of a living entity is to serve the Lord. That is how the human life starts. Atato Brahma Jignasa, questioning myself. Who am I? What is my real purpose? What is my duties? Clear. And Krishna further he says, what is the qualities of soul? Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakha, achainam kledayanti yapuna shoshayati marutaha. Nothing can destroy this spirit soul. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor weathered by wind. Any material things cannot kill us. Everyone is scared that I might die tomorrow. But nothing can kill us. Even if you are put into fire, even if you are put into water or cut into pieces, you cannot die because you are the spirit soul. That death is to the body, not to us. We are the spirit soul, part and parcel, Supreme Lord. And now, what is the size of us and how do we live? How we are within this body? To Bhagavad-Gita and many scriptures is said. So actually we are somewhere in the region of the heart. That's why heart is the power of our life. Actually what I can say, life power comes from the heart. When the heart starting beating, that is how the life is running. Because soul is there. Soul is residing in the region of heart. And actually Paramatma is always with us. And we'll come into the next classes and say that. Then size, what is the size of this Atma? You know our hair? Even the hair is not visible. The tip of the hair. Just think the tip of the hair is cut into 10,000 pieces. Then what is the size of it? That is the size of the Atma, a soul. And how to know that there is a soul? By consciousness. That is the difference between a dead body and a living body. You have consciousness, just take a pin, prick somewhere in the head, it starts paining. And keep somewhere near the feet or the hand, everywhere. You feel the pain. That is consciousness. But same pin you take and just prick to a dead body, no reactions. Why? There is no soul. When there is no soul, there is no consciousness. So when there is existence of soul, there is consciousness. And unchanging, does not undergo 6 kinds of changes. Actually, this material body has 6 changes. It goes passed on from even everything like fruits, trees, vegetables, human body, everything material. It starts with birth, then existence, then growth, then transformation. Transformation, some byproducts. Getting married and get another child or something. Transformation, then dwelling, then death finally. Finally, you come to death. So there's 6 changes, but for the Atma, soul, there is no changes. So it is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. Seeker of God. Seeker of God in the sense, seeker of happiness. The Supreme Lord is the source of happiness. He is, what I can say, is a form of happiness. So a person is always seeking for happiness. As I was saying, in an ignorant state, I is searching for the happiness in the material things. But the real happiness is in the Lord. When you start serving the Supreme Lord, automatically you'll become happy. Atma da ananda paramatmana seveli. So Atma's happiness in serving the super soul. And the soul is fireproof, waterproof, and unbreakable. Travels from one body to another. Here, I will go to further conclusion. The spirit soul is eternal and indestructible, while material nature is temporary. Because of this, one should not be bewildered by the inevitable destruction of the material body. Rather, one should remain fixed in prescribed duties which purify and allow one to realize the eternal self. What happens now? We get two duties. Once we realize that the spirit soul, then there is two duties. So before that, let us see the reincarnation. Jata sahi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmada paryaryerte natvam shochitam arhase. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Definitely, if somebody is taken a birth, he is definitely going to die one or the other day. And after the death, definitely is going to take another birth. So why you are lamenting for it? Krishna is asking Arjuna, you are lamenting. Never the soul can be killed. So nowhere you can be able to kill your spiritual master or your grandfather. But do your duty. Being a Kshatriya, you're responsible as a representative of the Supreme Lord. Actually, it is compared the Supreme Lord's body. Brahmana is the head, Kshatriya is the arms of the Lord, Vaishya is the stomach or the waist of the Lord, and the Shudras are the legs of the Lord. All are equally important. So be the representative of the Lord and do protect the Dharma. That is your duty. You don't lament for this material things. No way nobody can be killed. Clear? And now you can see the two dharmas or the two duties. Swadharma and Nitya Dharma. Dharma of body. Being a Kshatriya, you have to do your responsibilities. As far as being a father, being the husband or a son, we have to do our material duties, bodily responsibilities. Or else, as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, being a responsible citizen, we have to do our duties. Then what is Swadharma? This is Sanatana Dharma, Dharma of soul. Being the soul, you should be responsible. What is the main prime duty of a soul? To get liberated from this material world. That is to serve the Lord. How to serve the Lord? By chanting, reading Bhagavad-Gita, devotional service. And in coming days, tomorrow, basically, I'll say one more point to you. How to serve the Lord. It's a process, I'll teach you. So first thing is chanting, reading Bhagavad-Gita. Taking the message of the Lord and chanting, praying for Him. This is the Nitya Dharma. This is the soul platform. Yes, we cannot give bodily platform after knowing this. Being in this body, definitely we have to do our responsibilities. And in ignorant state, you are given up this soul. That is also not right. Both has to be balanced. Yeah. Do not neglect your higher dharma. Actually, the activities of soul is higher dharma. It is superior to the material duties. So both has to be balanced. So that you cannot give even material body also. See, when you are going somewhere, you want to travel to from Bangalore to Delhi or somewhere, you want to travel, you are sitting in a car. Definitely the condition of the car should be good. So the bodily condition also should be good. So you have to take up your duties also. You have to take care of your family, take care of your parents, or even be a good citizen, take care of your country and many things like this. Yeah. So neglecting our Sanatana Dharma and only performing this Swadharma is like decorating the cage, but not caring for the bird inside. What happens if you take care of only the cage, not taking care of the bird? One day the bird dies. It all becomes waste. The purpose of decorating the cage is to show everyone that my bird is beautiful, my parrot is speaking well, just see. such a beautiful. Just decorating the cage and without the bird, it becomes useless. Even we become dead body. Without the soul, it's of no use. So higher dharma is to take the duties of dharma, take the duties of soul, that is to serve the Ananda, higher taste. Actually, that is the higher taste. Two types of taste are there. One is the material taste and the spiritual taste. Materially, now what we are trying to get some by material things, by some sweet or by some eating items or seeing items, hearing items, some song, some movie or something like this, or purchasing a car, a vehicle, a house, or getting married or getting something like this. We try to get happiness through this material things. This is the lower taste. What is the higher taste? Serving the Supreme. So that is permanent. There's a difference between happiness and Ananda, you know. See, many words, equivalent, many you cannot take in English. Ananda is different. Ananda is always eternal. What is our condition? We think happiness. A simple example is, for example, a person is suffering from headache, you think. What he does? Oh, my head is paining. Then finally takes some tablet or Saradon, something he takes. And now he's out of this headache. Somebody comes and asks, how are you? Now I'm happy. Just he has come out of that headache. And he thinks that is happiness. This is material. There's no happiness. He was in a problem. He has come out of that problem. That is it. That is not real Ananda. It's a long way to understand these things. So Ananda is a bliss that is within our heart. No material things can harm us. No material sorrow you can get harmed by it. Because Ananda comes from within. Let it be your poverty-stricken, let it be a rich person, a very, what I can say, whatever that material condition you have, you can be happy because happiness from is within. Because you are connected to Paramatma, you are feeling that bliss. In those days, you can see they are very poverty-stricken, but they were very happy because they were all connected to the Lord. Nowadays, we have our wealth and many comfort zones in our material things. What is happening? We are not happy. We are suffering because very far to the Supreme Lord. He is sitting in our heart, but we are very far to Him. Okay. Withdrawing one's senses. So how to get near to the Lord? Krishna says, Yada samharati chayam kurmonganiva sarvashaha indriyan indriyartebhyas tasya prajna pratishtita. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Definitely our five senses. It is the eyes, the nose, the tongue, the ear, and the skin. Drags us in different five directions. Satisfy me. The skin says, satisfy me. Give a good touch to me. Nose says, satisfy me. Give a good smell to me. Tongue says, give a good taste to me. Eyesight, ears, everything always tracks us. A person who is sober, who is able to control this material desires, he can progress. So the Lord is giving the example of a tortoise. Tortoise, when it is not required, it takes all its limbs inside. When it's really required, it comes out the same way. When it's really, there's a situation that I have to serve the Lord, get our senses out and start serving Him. When it is not required, just pull it inside. Don't unnecessarily try to satisfy the senses by the material objects. It's only a bondage. It's just bounding us in this material world. Nowhere you get liberated. Higher taste characterized by regulative senses. Everybody now starts, regulated senses. Bhagavad-Gita, coming to this should be there somewhere. We wanted to be very freedom. No? In coming days, you'll see till the 9th chapter somewhere, I'll give the example. Right? We always wanted to be free. Free birds. No rules and regulations to us. We get degraded in our life. We'll be equivalent to animals. Actually, human life is with a regulated life. Regulated senses, what to be done and not to be done according to the rules and regulations of the scriptures. Following that is the human life. Okay, remaining undisturbed, tasting higher happiness, Ananda, which is permanent. That comes by this spiritual progress. Just by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you'll be able to definitely experience the bliss. Oh, if you're all really sincerely chanted, you will be experiencing this, not just as a time pass, as mechanically turning the beats and doing it. As 4 P's I am saying today, definitely try in that way. Attentively on the video on set, even a single word touches your heart. Just casually turning off the video and something, doing other work and listening. It is something like a song which you hear daily. It will be in that way. But very attentively and sitting, hearing also, each and every word of this Bhagavad-Gita taps our heart, taps the door of our life, awakens us from the sleep. Yeah. And now you can see you're experiencing higher taste. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha asovarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. The most important, param drishtva nivartate. You cannot give up your material happiness. Can you give up? No, I'm addicted to it. My senses are superior. It's very strong. I cannot overcome it. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste of the sense objects remains. Even if you say, I don't want to see this, but inside closing the eyes, inside mind is running. What is happening outside? Some beautiful woman is going, something is happening, some tasty thing they are preparing. I have to see that, I have to do this, I have to eat this. Something, even you close the eyes, close all your senses and say you cannot do that. So what should we do? By ceasing such engagements, by experiencing a higher taste, is fixed in consciousness. Simple example. For example, a boy is riding a cycle to his school or college or something, is going to his college, you think. You ask him to give up his cycle. Will he give up? That is the only source to go to the school. I'll never give up this. This is my happiness. I cannot do that. Never you ask him to give up the cycle. Give him a good bike, new bike. No need to even ask to give up the cycle. He automatically gives up the cycle and he goes in the bike. Isn't it? The higher taste. A person who is with the material taste, we are all having with material by eating, sleeping, mating, we have these desires, happiness, we cannot give up that. When you start developing or experiencing the higher taste, that's a spiritual taste. That is the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Experiencing the vision of the Lord, experiencing the taste of the Lord, then automatically you'll be able to give up this, with no need to think about it. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madamatsari, which is filled in our heart, automatically vanishes when the sun starts coming. The fog is covered all over. Automatically it starts melting. The same way the sunrise of Bhagavad-Gita in our life melts all the contaminations of our life. Here. See, that is the real nature of the soul. But what happens? This is how it degrades. Yatato hi api kaunteya purushasya vikaschitaha indriyani pramatini haranti prasabham manaha. The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind, even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. Without giving the higher taste, never ever you can control your senses. Krishna is saying even a single sense is sufficient to drag you away from your real happiness. Just a single eyesight. You can see the life of Vishwamitra. Such a great yogi. But Menaka, when she came, he fell down. Saubhari Muni, another great personality who sat within the water for doing tapasya. He gave up everything. Such a great person sitting within the water. Just imagine, controlling his breath and sitting there. He saw two fishes union. He got agitated, came out and get married. So material things are very strong. Till then you don't have the activities in the spirituality, spiritual service where you're serving the Lord. It starts degrading us day by day. You can see the lower taste. Lower taste sometimes becomes more superior than the higher taste. It drags us. The most important verses here, 62 and 63. Dhyayato vishayan pamsa sangha sanjayate kama kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammoha smriti vibrama iti bramshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. That's the end of our life. Sense objects. How it gets attracted? By contemplation. You get attached to it. For example, you see a vehicle, you see a cloth or something like that, your dress. Just seeing that it's really required to me, you can purchase it. It's not required, you just give it up. For example, a woman sees a saree, a silk saree which is costing 10,000, and the husband's salary is somewhere around 15,000. Seeing itself, she should understand this is not my position. Just give up there. Don't develop attachment. Otherwise, it becomes a problematic. You start asking your husband and he struggles for it. And if you don't give, what happens? If you don't purchase the saree, see, by attachment, the lust increases. It transforms to lust. Lust is nothing but unsatisfied desires. Very strong desire is lust. Don't think lust means something, relationship between man and woman or something. No, lust means it's only a strong desire. After transforming to lust, you can never vanish from our heart. So unfulfilled desire, lust, what it transforms? Transforms to anger. Very dangerous thing in our life. It transforms to anger. Same lady, when the husband is not able to purchase the saree, she becomes angry on him. And she'll not serve him with the proper breakfast or lunch, or not give him proper coffee or tea, just throw on him something on. Anger has been created. Then you think, Arey, you should satisfy now. Yes, when you satisfy your lust, what happens? Never it is satisfied completely. It transforms to greed. Today I have purchased 10,000 rupees salary. Tomorrow she'll see for the 20,000, which is beyond the salary of the person. And it starts having desire on, developing desire on it. It transforms to greed. Even we purchase first, for example, we don't have a house, being in a rented house. Always we have a desire to have a own house. After having a own house, a person who is in own house, what do you think? I should have one more house where I can rent it out and I can settle in my life. A person who is having at least 4 or 5 rented houses, you think, what will be thinking? I should have a big apartment. I should settle my life something more bigger. After doing that, this is what is happening. No, there is no full stop. You can see our businessmen or politicians, they're having millions and millions, crores of rupees. Are they satisfied? No. They wanted to get more and more because they don't know what is the purpose of life. And this anger, what it makes us? Bewilderment. And that bewilderment, loss of intelligence. You cannot take decisions when the anger is in us. I'll say a small story to this. Always I say this. So this is a real, this is not a story, like it is a real thing, incidents happened. So once there was a family in Mumbai somewhere, very rich husband and wife. Both were very rich CEO of some companies. Both were in a very high position, but they had not had any children. So they were going to all the temples, doing some Havan, Homa, those things, many things. Their good fortune, they came to ISKCON also. When they enter ISKCON, only one solution there. Chant Hare Krishna, whatever the problem you have, chant Hare Krishna. So some devotee got hold of them. Yes, oh, you don't have children? Good. You chant Hare Krishna, Krishna will bless you. So sincerely, they took very seriously and they started chanting, becoming devotees of the Lord. They had good fortune. All the doctors had given a certificate that never ever you can have a child because the health of the husband and the wife is very bad condition. She's having all the diseases, so never ever she can become the mother. And even he is now having no qualities to become a father. The Lord's mercy was there. And she was pregnant. She gave birth to a boy child, beautiful child. Even the doctors were astonished to see this. Then finally they said, this is the only child for you. Some or the other, some Lord has helped you or he has shown mercy on you. Take care of the child. They were very happy. That was a blissful condition. They were very happy in their life. So once what happened, she was also working. She was a CEO of a company now, being pregnant and giving birth to a child. She has given up all the work. She is in the household work and she's cooking or doing something. And husband is going to the office. He's having his coat, shoot, everything. He goes to the office. So once what happened, he did not find his tie. He was asking her, where is the tie? She working the household works, now she's very much disturbed and she said, what kind of a person you are? You can't even keep your tie in a proper way and such. Even for that, I should come. You search. He became a little angry, hearing the words of wife. He said, what kind of a wife are you? You cannot even get tied to me. You speak like this. And she became more angry. She started throwing one spoon outside. Get lost from here. And he became more angry. He took some flower pots and he started tapping on our dress, throwing it. This is what happens in our house also. When we are angry, we don't know what happens. After that, we realize, it's a new vase, a new this thing. I've already broken it. Why? The anger was bewilderment, loss of intelligence. We'll not even think what is happening, what I'm doing now. In that way, in our house also, in your house also, I hope many things will be flying when we are in anger. So that is what happening. But what happens? Finally, what happened? That person just throwing this all the way in a balcony. They were in a big apartment in the 28th floor somewhere. He took a child and kept outside the balcony. Said, "I'll throw this child if you say anything wrong on me, something." And she realized that it is the only child. This is the only source of our happiness. This is the source of our life. He can never do that. She said, "Arey, he's not only my son, he's your son also. You want to throw, you throw." At the mind of anger, cannot take proper decisions. He just left the child. From the 28th floor, the small kid was thrown out. Just imagine what happens. And she was having her high BP and sugar, diabetes, everything. In such condition, she was at once not able to bear this. He has already left the child. She ran outside to see that. And for her bad fortune, the lift was not working. There was no power or something like that. She started climbing down the stairs. Being a weak-hearted, she was breathing heavily, and she came out and saying, all people were gathered there. She was pushing everyone, mera bacha, my child, my child. Everyone were astonished, surprised to see her. How can she have such a big child? What happened there? As soon as opened everyone, she came, entered there. Husband was there. On the top, husband is. She took the body of husband, and below the child also was dead. What happened in the top? Actually, he was just tapping his head. What have I done? I've killed my son, own son in my hand, through my hands. Just put his hand in the coat pocket, was able to find the tie. All this started because of that tie. Was able to find that. Then he himself jumped from the top of the balcony. He gave up his body. What's the use of my life if I have killed my own son? He was the only source of her life. And seeing the death of husband and child, she was already weak-hearted. By the heart attack, even she died in the same spot. Just a small anger. Don't think this will not happen in our life. In our bad fortune or a bad time, anything can happen. So we should be very cautious before we get this anger. That starts from Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. This is science. Bhagavad-Gita is a great science. So here Krishna is saying the source of anger, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangha Sanjayate Kama, Kamat Krodho Vicharante. When there is lust, when there's a strong desire, it transforms to anger. Tomorrow I'll explain about this anger and greed. Never ever you can satisfy the lust. Before transforming to lust, you should have the intelligence. That's why Bhagavad-Gita helps us. When you see the saree, it is 10,000. My husband's salary is 15K. Is this needed for me? No, just throw it away. Use your intelligence. And even for men, I am saying, what's my situation? Where do I live my life? That be happy there. Don't take more loans or commitments and make our life horrible. Be happy in what we are. This lust transforms to anger or greed. Never ever will be happy with this. And this way what happens? Discrimination actions, then social crimes, suicide, rape, all this happens. Even a terrorist, is happy in killing an animal, killing a human being, giving him more and more problem. Actually, that is developing. We are developing even in our many lives, after many lives, you will become terrorist. First, for example, I'll say, just tapping a mosquito, or we are feeling something sorrow for it. We're having any compassion. It's biting me, so I'm tapping and killing it. Clear? What happens? Then you start killing an ant. Then we start killing a chicken for my tongue taste. You don't have any compassion towards it. Then a goat, cutting a goat, then cutting a bigger animal. You don't get satisfied. Then finally you try to kill a human being also. Even by killing, you don't get satisfied. You want to see the pain of others. You're able to understand how we are getting degraded day by day? This is how we get degraded, and the compassion, our heart becomes a stone. That means we are very, very far to the Lord, away from our real life. One day, pranashyati, we are going to fall in this hellish condition. Okay, undisturbed by instant flow of desire. So what should we do? Krishna is giving the solution here. Apuryamanam achalam pratishtam samudram apa pravishyanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishyanti sarve. A person who is not disturbed by the instant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled, but is always still, can alone achieve peace, not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. It's something like a river into the ocean. To this body, all the five senses giving many desires is entering us. But a person who stands still is not getting agitated by this. Mind is saying always this, eyesight is saying, I want to see this movie, I want to see that, I want to see this. Always going behind that. And the tongue is saying, ear is saying, it's dragging us like anything. We're just always trying to satisfy the senses. Can never have any peace in our life. But a person who is courageous enough to withhold the desires is definitely able to set peace. Will be happy in his life. Now, Krishna is answering the 5 questions here. Krishna defeats Arjuna's 5 arguments. The first thing, compassion. The soul never dies. Arjuna, the soul never dies. Don't be a fool. Showing compassion for the body. You're saying your relatives, those. No, you know where you can kill them. Never even you think to kill them, you cannot kill them. So forget about that. And enjoyment. If you lose, you win. If you win, you win. Just see how it changes there. Arjuna was saying no enjoyment, no good in this. And once you get Krishna conscious, it's only completely good. He's saying only there is happiness to you. Why? If you win here, you are able to rule the whole world. Okay, if you lose and give up your life, the heavenly doors are open to you. It is said in scriptures, a person who dies in the battlefield, heavenly doors are open to him. Even if you win, there's happiness. Even if you die, there is happiness in the heavenly planet. There's only happiness in this battle. See how it changes. Without the knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita, it's only sorrowful life. Once you accept Bhagavad-Gita, it's only blissful life. Only happiness and happiness. Destruction of family tradition. Krishna says, essence of Vedas is to serve Krishna. The essence of all the Vedas is to serve Krishna. You don't be least bothered about it. That's my duty to take care. The Lord takes care of everything. Whomever having according to their karma, it happens. You don't get any botheration on this. Do your duty. Fear of sin, fighting on the order of Krishna does not bring sinful reactions. Doing any service on the order of Krishna, on the order of scriptures, on the order of spiritual master. In the 5th chapter, 4th chapter, I'll explain this. Akarma, karma, vikarma, and akarma. There is no result to this. You're not getting binded in this material world. For example, an army person, on the orders of his superior, he is fighting in the borders and is killing many of them, many enemies. He's not been arrested or is not punished to it. Rather, he's been awarded for it. Paramvir Chakra or something we give an award in. Why? He's taken the orders of his spiritual master, orders of the superiors. Even by killing the same person, he comes to the city and he kills his own wife or child. He's been arrested. He's been imprisoned. Clear? Just taking the orders of the spiritual master or the scriptures or Krishna, you're not getting binded. You're not punished. Even you are rewarded. You get liberated by this. But Arjuna, by killing Kauravas, he will be liberated. He will not be binded. There's no sin out of it. It's a great knowledge. Then indecision, then Kauravas are sinful and have to be killed. He's saying, no, I'm not able to take decisions. Krishna is saying, yes, I'm taking decision on behalf of you. Kauravas are adharmis. They are sinful person. And your duty as a Kshatriya, kill them. You do your duty. Be the representative of the Lord. Be the arms of the Lord as a Kshatriya. Protect the nation. Make it dharmic. If anybody is adharmic, kill them. So when we are not taken up this Bhagavad-Gita knowledge, there are many people who start ruling us with the same knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita by misinterpreting into different way and explaining us in a different way that Bhagavad-Gita teaches us ahimsa. No way Bhagavad-Gita teaches ahimsa. Ahimsa is a wrong notion of Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavad-Gita teaches Dharma. It is not showing us himsa. Oh, Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna has been adoring Arjuna to teaching him to kill. No. Bhagavad-Gita is teaching Dharma. What is Dharma? What is the purpose of human life? What is the right decision should I take? If we are not aware of this knowledge, many start ruling us with the same Bhagavad-Gita, giving many interpretations, giving many other meanings other than Bhagavad-Gita. And they say that this is what's said in scripture. This is what is said in Bhagavad-Gita. You have to do this. You all should be ahimsa. You should all take care of, you should all be very low in your life. And adharmis are growing nowadays. Why? Because we don't know what is our duties. We all want to be good people. No? Good people is not person who is not a person who is accepting adharma is not a good person. Fighting for it is the right person. That's what Krishna is explaining here to Arjuna. Yeah. Okay, now in this Bhagavad Gita and today's Economy Gita, what we are going to see. Guru, take the shelter of Guru. So that we should have some basic qualities, that is eager to learn and the humbleness and the courage to accept our weaknesses. And our identity that I am soul, not this body. And two dharmas, one is the bodily platform and the spiritual spirit or the soul platform, two duties. And Ananda, give up this lower taste. This can be given up only by taking higher taste. Only by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and serving the Lord, you will be able to give up all the other degraded taste or the degraded desires that we have, that is material desires. So what is tomorrow? Tomorrow another important thing, Karma Yoga. Actually, it comes in today's verse, but tomorrow, Karma Niyavadi Karasti Mahapaleshu Kadachana Ma Karma Falaha Eturgur, Pate Sangostu Karmani. You say Karma, hey, that's what Krishna is saying. Work like donkeys. No. No. Krishna is saying something else, but it has been interpreted to us and given in another way. And see tomorrow, what is it? And tomorrow, and see, every day I start the session with a story. And tomorrow a wonderful story is coming to us. Such a great essence, such a great life lesson you are going to get out of this story. But the story will be in the very first slide. So whoever wants to hear this, want to change or know the real essence of Gita or anything, you should be present early. If you come by 5:45, it's more better. You'll be able to chant one round and hear Kirtan and then participate. Okay, then regulated activities, exemplary life, and lust the enemy. Tomorrow we are going to see this. And now there will be a quiz link. Please do attend. I request each and everyone to attend this quiz link. Okay, you'll be given a certificate in the last. Now let us chant once Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Akama sarva kama kamo va moksha kama udharati tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. This is said in Srimad Bhagavatam. A person who has border intelligence, not very intelligent person, even a slightest to the simple intelligent person, what should he do in his life? Whether he be full of material desires, he's having full of desires in his life. I want to buy a house, buy a vehicle, buy that, like many things. Okay, without any material, I don't have any desires in my life. Fine. Or desiring liberation. No, I want to get liberated. You are having a desire, superior desire, to get liberated. Must by all means worship the Supreme, hold the personality of Godhead. Only one thing you have to do is to take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Engage ourselves in bhakti or the devotional service, worship the Supreme Lord, Krishna. That's what Bhagavad. Even a slightest intelligent person, a person who is not taking this, definitely cannot be an intelligent person. That's what Krishna is saying. Okay, our Lakshmi Narasimhadev, Gandharvika Giridhari, ISKCON, HB. So if anyone is having any questions, please raise your hands. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll see any announcements from Chandrasekhar. Yes, Chandrasekhar.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for wonderful explanation, connecting to our day-to-day life with the help of stories. So, meantime, we'll look at yesterday's report, bro. If anyone have questions, please raise your hand and switch on your video. We'll take question, Prabhu, first.
You can share meanwhile.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll take questions and then I'll share.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you so much for your service to us, firstly. And my question is that as you explained the form of soul and the position of soul, which is in the heart. So what my question is, as there is a famous saying that Brikuti mein chamakta hai ajab sitara, sahibanu lagta hai pyara. So through this saying, many people understand that the position of the soul is in the center of the forehead, in the madhya of Brikuti. And for that significance, we used to put tika or bindi over here to remember that we are a metaphysical energy, point of light source residing here in the middle of the forehead. So I wanted to understand on this point.
Okay. You can patiently wait till the 8th chapter.
Okay.
Everything will be covered in this. Anyhow, I'll be explaining. Actually, life, you say it's in the here, no? In the middle of the forehead. Actually, it is not as there's 6 chakras,
Yeah. Okay.
Our life is degraded. It is in the Kundalini chakra. With this pranavayu, pancha pranavayu, he makes the life air to come to the next Mooladhara chakra, and like this, it starts developing it. And finally, he makes that to come to the Agna chakra. This is called as Agna chakra. Then he closes his eyes, not completely, just half closed, keeping his vision on the tip of the nose, and he starts meditating on the Agna chakra. Then finally, he gives up his body. There's a Brahmarandra in our head. At the small child, you can see that there's a soft thing here. Even on the skull, you can see there'll be holes on the top. So the Brahmarandra, he breaks the Brahmarandra. From Brahmarandra, he passes to the spiritual world. Actually, a yogi does that. So actually, the bindi or the kumkum that we keep, everything in those days, it is true. Because they were all yogis, living yogis, being a grihastha, they were all yogis. But now they are very much degraded, First point, we realize that I am a soul. Living a life of animal life. Just having the word, just a theoretical knowledge also, it's very difficult, Yes, what you are saying is absolutely right, but it will never apply to us because we are not leading a life of such.
Okay.
So
actually,
yes, Mataji.
So when actually, if I tell about myself, so I've been meditating since a long time now. So when I do meditate, then I feel the resonance over here. Okay, something like this, okay, the vibration I can feel over this part. And I used to concentrate myself as a soul seated in the center of the forehead between the pituitary glands. And then the radiations starts emerging from here, and I will feel the resonance over here. So that's why I wanted to understand this. So the position of the soul, where is the exact position of the soul? In the heart or in the forehead?
The heart, Mataji. Soul is in the heart.
Okay.
So region is in the heart. It will be residing in the heart. Even for a yogi. It's only the pranavayu, the chakras, he just makes, the pranavayu is always in the whole body as the consciousness is there. So he makes to the superior. So when he is more towards the Lord, more towards this thing, he is able to get that to the Agna chakra.
Get that elevated.
Yeah. So for everyone, even for that such kind of yogi, the soul is in the heart and Paramatma is in the heart. When you come to the 8th chapter, I'll explain something about this. And before that also, I'll say something about yoga also, dhyana also. Actually, why do we ask everyone to chant? Actually, this is the Yuga Dharma. By meditating, you cannot ultimately, or it's not complete. Yes, it is complete in Satya Yoga, not in Kali Yuga. See, not that you meditate for a few minutes and come out of it and you feel that bliss or something is, it's of no use, You cannot ultimately reach the spiritual world by just this kind of meditation. By just in this Kali Yuga, it is, even the yoga is nothing but yug. It's a word derived from yug, it's Sanskrit word, connecting to the Lord. You should be able to connect that to the Lord. But the meditation takes a longer period. This is actually in Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga, the people used to, the lifespan of those Satyogis were for 1 lakh years. You can see the Hiranyakashipu and Ravana and many of this were meditating for thousands of years. For 50,000 years, Hiranyakashipu was meditating. So even then, he was not able to achieve, he took the boon from Lord Brahma in some other way. So being a devotee is great. Having a relationship, developing relationship with the Lord is more important. By developing, it is actually Krishna who gives the intelligence. Tesham satate yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantate. It is Krishna who is giving the intelligence to us, how to take the direction, what is the path I should take. So, and yogi, meditating, and this yogi, he's taking his own endeavor. He's not taking full shelter of the Lord. Anyhow, in the 6th chapter, I don't want to make, not for you, for at least for others. This answer applies to everyone then. Everyone can get confused. So when the time comes, I'll explain according to that, because that becomes authentic. When I read something from the scriptures, from Bhagavad-Gita, if I give that knowledge, it becomes authentic. If I say now, it becomes my own words. No? So that is more better value. In the 6th chapter, I'll say Dhyana Yoga. In the 8th chapter, when giving up the life, Antakale chamami vasmaran mukta kalevaram, Krishna says, then I'll say how a yogi should give up the life and how a devotee give up. So devotee is a person who's completely taken shelter of the Lord. That. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Surabhi Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
So I was hoping to find a little clarity about the topic that we touched when we spoke about the higher happiness, Ananda, and the material happiness. So within that, I got a little confused where you said that it is not under our control to have a complete control over our all our senses, the indriyas. And until and unless what I had thought of was that until and unless I do not have a complete control over my senses, I may not be able to achieve the eternal bliss, the higher happiness. But then when you gave up the story of the bike and the bicycle, that also held true for me. So then how is the cycle like? Should I be able to control my sense organs and then be able to achieve the eternal bliss? Or if I get a taste of the eternal bliss, then I may be able to get over the sense organs.
Both, Mataji.
Okay, it works vice versa.
Krishna says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena tarujyati. First is Abhyasa. This is what you're coming for the 2nd class now. So you start Abhyasa, practice, chanting, practicing. And tomorrow also one more thing, offering to the Lord and getting something relationship with the Lord. So developing it, practice. By this practice, still you'll be enjoying your material things, but you'll be able to give up that. By the higher superior knowledge, you'll be able to take a right decision. Something your mind is asking to go to a movie, then you think, Arey, going and sitting there for 3 hours, wasting my time. Let me read this Bhagavad-Gita. And somewhere I'll progress in my spiritual life. I'll at least understand what is my life. So by that knowledge, you'll be able to take up the next decisions. When you don't have this knowledge, what do you think? My happiness is in watching that movie. So anyhow, you will be wasting your life in unnecessary things in your material enjoyment. So in this way, it takes time, Mataji. It takes time. So one more thing in the very beginning, you were asking about controlling the senses. Definitely we cannot control. We can never ever control. Actually, it is said, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktirut. Actually, our senses never obeys our orders because it is not directly under our control. It is under the control of the Supreme Lord. It is Rishikesha. That's why the Lord is said as Rishikesha. Actually, it is said, Krishna says in 7th chapter, Daiviyesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratya Mamevaya Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. It's very clear. Daiviyesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratya. It's my energy. Even the senses, the material thing is my energy. You cannot overcome. You cannot control your senses. That's why yogis fall down. Even Vishwamitra, Sobari Muni, or great yogis, they fell down because we cannot control our senses without the shelter of the Lord. In your coming days, I'll say what's the difference between a devotee and a yogi. So how he develops, even he wants to reach the same goal. Even devotee wants to reach the same goal, but there's a different in process. So bhakti is a simplified way. Even the ignorant can get liberated. But yogi, you need to have basic qualifications. It's really tough. But why do yogis exist? Why cannot they take bhakti? Because of ego. They think, yes, I can do that. Even we are such kind of people even here also. We think that, yes, I can do. No need to take shelter of the Lord. I can control. That's why I was saying, even great yogis are not able to do. We are very insignificant conditioned souls. Where can we do that? We cannot control our senses. It's only Krishna who has to control it. And Krishna says, Daiviyesha Gunamai Mama Marade Mam Evaya Prapadyante. Just who takes the shelter of me, who worships me, who surrenders unto me, very easily will be able to control the senses, control the material world, control the desires. Because already is experiencing, that's what today's verse also. Param Drishtavani Vartati is already experiencing the bliss. Why will he ever need the degraded or the fallen desires? Very low, the material desires. Now we think material desires are very superior. Only because of that I'll be happy. Actually, that is degrading. That is the lowest of all lowest. Without knowledge, we think something is happiness. I cannot say very openly. Still, when you come a little bit closer or when personal interaction, then I can explain you. It's a so degraded taste. We think that that is giving me happiness. That means you should think what kind of an ignorant situation we are. We are not even able to realize that it's such a degraded one, such an abominable thing. I'm thinking that is happiness. So what kind of foolish life I'm leading? So when we come to the knowledge, the reality will be. Mataji, patiently wait till 80 chapters. Many questions will be answered. Yes, Mataji, something you're saying.
A few times you didn't mention about serving the Lord. What exactly do we mean by serving the Lord?
I'll tell you, Mataji. For the time being, it's only chanting.
Okay.
It's a process, Mataji. I cannot take everyone to see. For example, now you are taking the birth in the spiritual, in the devotional service. At once, I cannot make you to be a degree holder. No? So first you have to enter the babysitting, then get trained with the A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3 something, then come to the primary class, then to the higher school, then go to the graduation. So now I'm requesting everyone who are here, just start chanting. Somewhere our heart gets purified. Then tomorrow, one more small thing I'll add. Then I'll say what is the services. It's not very huge or anything. Even a poverty-stricken is not having anything in his life, even he can make his life liberated. It's a very simple thing. So I'll let you know, Mataji, coming days. Okay.
And I had one more question. Although
Yes.
I don't mean to sound very offending with this one, and also I don't mean to challenge Krishna's leelas. Though, but you gave an example at the very beginning of the session. It was about surrendering to the Lord. And you gave an example of a person. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name, but the one who did not perform his father's
Yes.
Yes. So at the later part of the story, you mentioned about he met another woman, and he wanted to hold association with her, and her husband was willing to offer the same. So I was a little taken aback with the how can a husband ask his wife to have an association with another person?
Yes, that is lack of knowledge that we have. In those days, they were very superior in their consciousness. It's a bodily thing. See, being in a bodily platform, you have to do your prescribed duties and be accordingly. But when you come to the spiritual platform, this becomes very insignificant. Bodily activities becomes very insignificant. So anyhow, you'll come to know, Mataji. There's a story of Ramanujacharya also, somewhere in some other chapters in the very beginning, I'll say about that also. So there all will come to know that the bodily things also becomes very insignificant. When you are serving the higher purpose, what we think that now it's main becomes very insignificant. Now, like see Arjuna's questions. Till yesterday, it was a great questions. They're showing the compassion and loss of enjoyment, and it's a sinful activity. And today Krishna has answered, it's all very insignificant. The material, according to the material, this thing, it is very insignificant because you're doing the higher purpose. The same way the person, the husband, was able to see the divinity in this Bilvamangal Thakur's face. Hare, even my wife gets purified by his association. You are seeing in a different way, but that person is seeing in a different way. By the association of this great personality, even she gets purified. He's not an ordinary man. He's a spiritualized person. Just offering her body to him, she becomes purified. She gets liberated. So he is seeing in that way. So the
possibly how you gave another story of Narad Muni and how the liberation process started from the womb to the birth of a child. Maybe that's how it's done.
Yes, that association of a great devotee. No? Just matra sadhu, having a slightest association of a. So here in that story, if you come back to that story, that lady is so fortunate giving her body, offering her body to a great soul. In the same life, she gets liberated. So then you can't say that, oh, if there's a devotee, I can just offer my body. It will never apply to everyone the same. It's different. That's what I said. Bhagavad-Gita is a bunch of millions of keys. And I have one lock of it. It is the spiritual master who decides which key is that to open my lock. In that way. So Bhagavad-Gita, the same instruction will not apply to all. So the same decision cannot be taken in all the times. Desha Kala Patra also is applies. So that's why it takes time, Mataji. It takes to acquire more and more spiritual knowledge, then you will be able to realize what the decisions to be taken. Okay.
Okay, and while filling up the feedback form yesterday, I had a few questions put up there. Will I be getting answers online, or I can take the questions here?
No. Today also you can ask. I think Chandrasekhar Prabhu, if time permits, he'll ask those questions, or even they will answer for it. If it's a simplified questions, they will answer for it. If they are not able to answer, they'll come back to me and they'll ask questions. Okay. Or else, if time permits, you can ask. You have that questions? Now you can ask.
Yes, me. I do remember.
Yes,
so yesterday you spoke about Sanatan Dharma. You said that the other religions that we as human beings have divided us into, Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity, etc. But purely we all came with one Dharma, which was Sanatan Dharma. I just wanted to know a little, a brief about what exactly Sanatan Dharma is. I think we saw a slide today mentioning Sanatan Dharma.
Sanatan Dharma is nothing but eternal Dharma. What's the eternal Dharma of a living entity?
I think to achieve consciousness.
To achieve?
The ultimate consciousness.
We are already in consciousness, Mataji. We are in contaminated consciousness. Yes. We are materially contaminated. So liberation is the ultimate goal of a human life. So that ultimate goal has to be reached. That is Sanatan Dharma, eternal Dharma. That is by serving the Supreme Lord. Jivera Surupavai Krishnera Nityadas. That is why we take this human body. There's a lot of difference between animal life and a human body. Actually, animal life is a progression. There are 84 lakh species. After that, we get a chance of this human body. If you don't utilize this body for our perfection, liberation purpose, it's a waste. It's actually said the death of a human being is a spiritual death if he is not get liberated. Not only the material body is getting died, even the spiritual death, because he has not utilized his body. That is the only source for him to get liberated from this material. That is the cycle of birth and death. If we don't utilize that, it's a spiritual death. So Sanatana Dharma teaches us that. And there's other dharmas which you name it as religion or dharma, but it's not a religion. It's only the naming that is it. So that cannot be a religion at all. The religion itself, and somebody yesterday they were asking about there's a difference between religion and spirituality. There's no difference between religion and spirituality. Both are the same. So the purpose of the human life is to serve Krishna. And nowadays there's so many confusions. And we are just degraded like anything. Degraded like anything. You're not able to realize what is life also. We are in such conditions. And we something Muslims, Christians, humans, first we don't know what is. And sorry to say this, if a adharmic person is there, what should we do? That's what Krishna is instructing, to kill them. Vanish the adharma. You cannot live with adharma. You cannot have a thorn in your hand or a leg and you can live with it. You have to take it out. Otherwise, your whole body gets spoiled. It becomes poisonous and you have to die out of it. So, which is very strong words, but still, that is the real life. Actually, dharma has to be developed, and this is all happening because of our lack of knowledge, because of our laziness, because of our lethargy thing, or being very selfish, me and mine. Actually, we have to take up the dharma. That is our responsibility. To teach to the whole world, that is what is dharma. And nowadays we are ashamed to say ourselves that I am a Sanatana Dharma. That is the life that we are leading. That's why we are very far from our real life. Oh, many things like this. There are many things to be known also in our life. Okay. Yes, in this 18 days, many questions will be answered. Even without answering the questions, many things will be revealed by Krishna's Bhagavad-Gita words. Yes, Mataji. Any other question, Mataji?
So while going through the quiz, there were a few things that I went wrong and I found the answers later on. I wasn't clear about that. So one of which was the 10th question, which went out of the following, which is not a symptom of stress shown by Arjun. I thought we did not cover this in the class yesterday, so I didn't really know the correct
Mataji,
answer.
your questions will not come only what the class has been conducted. There's in PDF also. Okay. Read.
Yes.
It's two-way. Yes, some will be covered in the class. You cannot expect in 1 hour to complete a whole chapter.
Definitely.
It's only to give the essence of the verses or essence of the message of the Lord. That's it. I cannot complete.
I wanted to know how the symptoms are so important and why are they so deeply highlighted in the Bhagavad-Gita.
What do you mean by symptoms?
I mean, all the symptoms that we were given as an option were, say, supposing mind reeling, body trembling. These were all symptoms of confusion and bewilderment. Yes. One of the symptoms, which was the correct answer, was butterflies in the stomach. I mean, these are so closely related symptoms. How are the symptoms so deeply mentioned in Gita? Do we have a significance of understanding these symptoms?
Yes, Mataji, definitely. Definitely. See, for example, a baby sitting or in somewhere in the LKG, UKG, we teach the children 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like this. And after coming to the little bit higher classes, we teach them plus, minus, division or something. And the same kid asks, what's the importance of this plus and minus? I know 1 to 10, everything, all the digits I know. What's the importance of this plus and minus? Is it really required to me? What do you think? Is it required or no?
Definitely, yes.
Yes, but definitely for a LKG kid, it's not required. It's only 1, 2, 3, that's it. And there's only 10 digits in this. 0 to 9, that is it. He knows everything in mathematics now. LKG kid thinks, I know everything. There's nothing other than this. So what is the use in having this multiplication, division? Many things are coming out. What What is the need of it? But when you grow up, you think, "Arey, that is ultimate. We need that." Then after that, you'll think, "Oh, many formulas are there. That also is required." So as I said, we're just taking the birth in this devotional life. Now we think that is it really required? Then when you grow up in spiritual life, you think each and every moment of us is important. Each and every word that we speak is important. Each and every action, there's a decision. There is a result for it. So everything is important. Now we are leading a life of animals. We don't even bother whatever I'm speaking, whatever the actions I do. So in that way, every symptom is important. Anyhow, I'll come to the once something is happening in my life, you could easily understand I'm getting degraded. I'm going towards other way. The symptoms shows you that you are taking a wrong decision. Something is wrong is going to happen in your life. If you're really intelligent, in the just fraction of moment, you can take a right decision and take a U-turn and come back. If you're not able to realize, then finally you have to suffer. Okay, so
And
that
one last
Mataji.
question.
Yes, Mataji.
One last question I had.
Yes, Mataji.
So I understood the importance of chanting and using the beads that you would mention how to do it yesterday. My question is whether I should be completely. I mean, should not chanting be a part of my regular life? Like supposing I'm doing my daily chores and I'm busy with my household work. Can I not keep chanting throughout? Do I have to completely sit at one place and hold the beads and chant?
Actually, today I have answered two dharmas. One is Swadharma and Nitya Dharma. And what do you think the most precious thing in this world? Time. My son is answering it. You heard? You're not here.
Yes, time. Yes, I heard.
Yes. Time, the most precious thing. So even a single moment, 1 second you cannot purchase even for billions of dollars or whatever you do. Even single second will not come back. So the most precious thing is time. In that precious time, if you're giving that to Krishna, just imagine the result that you're going to get out of it. Okay, just chanting always while you're working, while you're traveling, while you're doing anything, smaranam. You're just thinking of Lord Krishna. You're just thinking of him. You're doing smaranam, but you're not giving the precious thing to him. So sitting in a place, holding the beads in your hands, exclusively, manasa vacha karmena, your mind, your words, your actions, everything has been offered to the Lord. The precious time is given to the Lord, the 10 minutes of the time. It's so valuable. Krishna is just nearing to your life, nearing in your heart. It makes a huge difference. Yes, always chanting is good. You're doing smaranam. You're thinking of the Lord and doing all your services. But chanting is the most important. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Next, Anuradha Mataji. Anuradha Vaiji. Yes.
Hello.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please can you turn on your video?
My video is not on, Prabhuji.
Let me check. Now?
It's showing that please allow Zoom to access your camera from device settings.
Yes, some settings you have done wrong, I think, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
You can ask your question, Mataji.
Like my daughter's birthday, I need your blessings and Krishna's blessings. That's what.
Definitely, Mataji. Definitely, I cannot bless her. I can pray for my spiritual master, for Srila Prabhupada and the Supreme Lord. That
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. What's a good name, Mataji?
Vaishnavi, ma'am.
Wow.
Oh, Prabhuji.
Vaishnavi. What she's doing now?
Studying in first PUC, ma'am. Prabhuji.
Oh, great. Good. So let us all pray for Vaishnavi so that let her take this life seriously, not this material life, this life of Bhagavad-Gita. Take up this Bhagavad-Gita, take up the devotional service. Let the mercy of the Lord flow in our life, flow in her life, so that let us make her life perfect in the same life. So let us all pray once Hare Krishna Mahamantra first. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot.
So here I can see many of them from the very beginning, they're making the kids to sit in front of the camera. They're thinking that this class is for the kids. So they wanted their children to get this knowledge of Krishna, and they have to be benefited. Actually, kids should be taught this is the shlokas. I just say this, by chanting the shlokas, their intelligence becomes sharpened. They'll be able to grasp everything. That's why the kids should always chant shlokas. They should know all the shlokas and start chanting. But elders, actually we have in the middle now, we know where we are. Actually, by chanting this thing, verses in this age, at the age of 30, 40, 20, something like that, after this age of 25, we have to start implementing that in our life. Then realizing what we have learned in our childhood, realizing that actually this class is for the parents. Yes, even children can hear this, but this class is to the parents. Actually, children watch the parents, what they are doing, what my mother is doing, what my father is doing. They learn from their life and they implement in their life. Not that they don't have the realization skill now. That is a learning skill to them. Learn shlokas, learn this, learn that, and keep on watching what father is doing, mother is doing, what the world is happening, everything. They'll come to an age of something like 30, 40, something like that. After 25 years, they start realizing it. So this class is mainly for the parents. So they have to implement in our life as an exemplary life. They have to show to their kids. This is how you have to lead your life. Clear? Yes. Thank you. And as a responsible parents, it's our duty to teach our children as a role model. Never ever you can change your children's life by imposing something which you are not that. Being a wrong role model and making them to be a good person, it's impossible. They are not qualified. As an example, we have to show them his life. As a parents, it's our duty to do that. Okay, fine. Yes, Chandrasekhar Prabhu, you can show the.
Yes, bro. Okay. Yeah, Raju Prabhu is sharing the screen, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So yesterday we had around 110 devotees attending the session, and out of that 59 devotees have participated in the quiz, which is around 54%, and 29 devotees have done the chanting, Prabhu.
Okay, I think the percentage is very low. I need 100% in chanting. I don't want to discourage you or something like that, but just hearing this class, it's some benefit, might be some benefit, but it's of no use in our life, because without transformation, just hearing, it's something like a movie, watching and leaving it up. That's it. But when you chant, definitely your life gets transformed. Please do chant. And quiz, as I was saying, it's very important. It changes our attitude. It makes practical. It makes us practical. Just hearing and giving it up, it's of no use. Here, then later, but just take 10 minutes to attend it. Don't even least bother whether it's a right answer or wrong answer. Just use little bit of intelligence. Yes, right, just mark and go. Even the marks is not never mattered. Even if you get 0 out of 10, it's no matter. And you will get certificate for it. Just please do it. And chanting. Okay. And as from yesterday also I was saying, this is my duty to say. And beyond that, it's your responsibility to take it seriously. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, bro. And I saw earlier Trupti Mataji also raised her hand. Just wanted to check if she has any question.
Prabhu, do you have any other thing like feedback, anything to be read?
Not today, bro.
Not today. Okay, fine. Tripti Mataji, I did not see that.
She's still there. Mataji, you can unmute and ask your question. I saw you raising hand earlier.
No.
Prabhuji, yesterday you told that you sent the quiz link.
Hmm.
I didn't get any link.
Mataji, you are in the group?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, we are sent in the group, Mataji. So many devotees have attended it.
Yeah, Prabhuji, but I didn't get I didn't get the Zoom link also. I didn't got the Zoom.
That means you are not in the group.
Before I didn't get it, then now I'm not getting the quiz link also.
Mataji, you know how to rename your name?
Yes, Prabhu.
Or else you can just say a phone number, Mataji.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
99
99
80
80
71
71
37
37
37 39.
39. Okay. One second, Mataji. I'll just check whether you are in the group. Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Not able to find. You are in Kannada group, Mataji?
My mom is in Kannada group, and me and my mom are using the
You are
same
given
number.
the number of your mother's, I think. So,
Yeah, we are using the same number for the.
For English also, you are using the same number. That means you're not joined. You're not joined the English group, Mataji.
Can you add me, Prabhuji?
I'll share the link to you, or else I'll ask Chandrasekhar Prabhu to share the link.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Share the link, you can join to it. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Some are asking if we are able to get any access to the slides that are in the session. So I mentioned you will get a recording after 18 days, and whenever you need any screenshot, you can take on your own.
Yes. And one more thing I want to say that till then we don't provide any recordings to you, because if that is the case, you can have so many recordings in the YouTube. Directly you can go and watch there. Why should you come, wake up early morning and come here? Isn't it? I give my recordings. What is the use in that? You can see at any time at your leisure. No, that is not real progress. So actually, my main duty is to make you to wake up to the Sattva-guna, make you to come to the mode of goodness. And you should be very attentive. Even if you miss one word, something you go here and there, you miss out something. One story or some message will be missed out. You should be very attentive. And this is the 18 days I want to train up you in this way. Later part, anyhow, the link will be provided to you. Then later part in your leisure time, for the second time, you can watch this. But now at present, you have to develop this quality, attentiveness, and come to the higher consciousness of the Sattva. Okay. Yes. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Yes, bro. No more questions.
Yes.
A few raised their hand, but they left, I guess, now.
Okay, fine. I hope their question was answered by others' questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I thank each and everyone for attending today's session. Let us chant once Hare Krishna Mahamantra and wind up. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you to all. So I'll give you the option to unmute yourself. You can chant once Hare Krishna and you can leave the meeting.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kishore Prabhu, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Kavita Mataji, Hare Krishna, Raju Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Chandrasekhar Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
to all.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you all for joining the session. We'll continue tomorrow with chapter 3. Hare Krishna to all.
Hare Krishna.
Ending the session.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.